Good morning, everybody. And so it begins the place where the Creator responds to the created. So in chapter 38, we begin with God's response to Job and all Job's accusations about God being unjust. And I bet you that as you read through this, you probably read it with an angry voice. You heard God being angry at Job, because that's how we see him. That's how we imagine him, being angry, and that needs to shift because that is hearing God as creator, only creator, and failing to recognize him as Father, Abba. We get to call him Abba because we've been adopted. And even though Job only knew him as creator, we know him much better and we know him with the Father's heart. But just because Job knew him as a creator didn't mean he wasn't a father. He's always been the same. Didn't suddenly become bang, here he is. Throughout the Old Testament, you're going to see all kinds of mercy and compassion that we find in the New Testament. It's just that Jesus revealed it in a better way for us. So here Job is, and the Father has to bring some correction to this child who was starting to think more of himself than what he ought. A child who perhaps thought he knew the mind of Father, that he knew the acts of Father, that he knew as all that there was to know. And so Father gently comes in and says, were you there? Job, were you there at the foundation? You were there to see me hold back the waters? Were you there? And he goes through and he reminds Job, and I hear it in tenderness. I hear him reproaching Job with tenderness, much as a father would a young child. A young child who thinks he can drive the car, a young child who thinks that he knows better than his father, that it's okay to jump off the roof, or it's it's okay to drink Drano, these sort of things, and where the father or the mother needs to step in with their wisdom and their tenderness, and remind the child that they know more, and right now they're in a position of guiding and protecting and helping, and that's what the Lord is doing here. That's what Dad is doing here. Is He's bringing in this gentleness, this reproach. Were you there? Did you do this? Did you help me with this? Did you see this? Did you experience this? And the answer, of course, is no, no. And we know what happens at the end when Job falls on his face and repents of his attitude. But he has to stand up under this. He has to listen to this. It needs to wash over him, a cascading effect, just pouring over him, the grandeur, the greatness of who our Father is. And there's not much difference. We can find ourselves in these same places where we're doing the same thing, where we think we know more than what we do, and we have a lot of insight, we have a lot of revelation, there's a lot of stuff that we do know, but we still have to allow Dad to be Dad. We still have to allow God to be God. We have to allow him to be large, to be grand, to be majestic, to be beyond our imagination. In a couple places in the Word, it says that God does whatever he wants. He does whatever he wants. The thing is that we know that he won't do anything out of who he is. And we know who he is because of Jesus on the cross. We know who he is because of what Jesus has revealed. We know that the whole premise, the foundation, everything is love. That's why the two greatest commandments, it's about love, and that everything can be summed up in those commandments because it's based on love. So everything that God does is based on love, and all our response is supposed to be responses of love. Yeah, so don't read this with an angry voice. Go back if you need to, or tomorrow when we read the next few chapters. Read it with how you expect a tender father to bring correction to a very, very young child, because that's what Job is to God, a very, very young child who hasn't even seen his face. So you guys be blessed today. Just consider this. How do you see God? The most important thing in your life, how you see God. Be blessed, be engaged, enjoy your day.